All right, so this is buttons for beginners. So there's definitely fancier and more decorative buttons that you can do. This is just a quick guide to how you can get started with buttons. So first of all, we're going to be using Google Draw. So just to show you some examples and some ones that we're going to do, this is the main one that we're going to use for the days. The button they're going to choose for days. You could do a circle and an outline. You can also do images. I have a folder one, and I also have a notebook one. So there's really any shape that you can make an image, you can create as a button. All right, so we are going to open a new Google Draw. And I like to size mine first. This reference guide here is very helpful. It tells you some good sizes in pixels to make images. So we want a square button. So it's 125 by 125 in pixels. So I'm just going to go to Page Setup, Custom, 125 by 125 pixels, and then I forgot it does that. I'm not sure why. So you'll notice up here at the ruler, it's going to change when we hit apply. So it's about the same size document, but it's very much zoomed in. So your button is going to be all of this image. So when we create our image, we want as much of this square to be covered in image as we can. So I'm going to insert a shape, and we'll choose that kind of like post-it looking thing. And I'm going to start here in the upper corner. I'm going to take up as much of it as I can. And then I'm just going to see about having a border on it. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. I'm going to fill it in. I started with red for the first day of the week. To get a different look, you can also always go to the gradients, and those kind of make them the gem shades. But I'm going to stick with the solids, and we'll go red. I want this to say day one. So I'm going to use the word art and do day one. I'm going to make that much bigger. And I'm going to change the font. And I'm going to use that red line to make it centered. There we go. And I might want to insert an image to go with it. So I'm going to search for a transparent calendar. And I just want black and white just to kind of go with this theme we've got. Obviously need to size that down quite a bit. All right. All right, so here's my button for day one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this now as a JPEG or a PNG. And I'm going to save it. I just have a folder called buttons. And I'm going to call this practice button. But now that that is saved and I'm ready to use it, once I've played with it and I'm sure that I like it, I like that because I now know any other ones that I want to be this shape and size, I can just use this image. So when I'm ready for day two, I'm just going to go in here, change the color, and change the day to say day two. And now I'm going to download and save that. So I'm sure that all of my buttons are exactly the same size and shape. So now let's go to Canvas. And so I have my reading, math, social studies. So when you click on reading, you see they can choose day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then they have the home button as well. So I've done that for reading and math. Let's do that for social studies and show how we can link those up. So we're going to go into the edit. It has the banner up there already. So now I'm just going to hit enter, and I'm down below, and I can center this, and I'm going to choose my image, and I'm going to upload the image from my computer, and we'll stick with the ones I've been using. I'm going to do day 1, submit that. Once it shows up, I'm going to just hit the space bar twice, insert another image, computer, day 2. A lot of people use tables to make sure, because sometimes it looks one way here, and then you get into, you save it, and when you get into the student view or the regular view, it looks a little different. I have trouble getting the lines in the table to disappear. So if I keep it centered, and I've already sized them, I haven't had too much of a problem doing this. So now you have all 4 days. I'm going to go ahead and also insert that home button. That's why I like my buttons to be kind of generic so that I can use them multiple times. So I have that home button saved, and I can just insert it here. All right. So now if you're ready for your buttons to link to something, most likely they're going to link to a page or an assignment or a quiz. Those are the main things. Perhaps a module. I don't use modules that often, but let's do home, for example. So you're going to highlight it or click on it. It's going to have these 4 squares in the corner is what you're going to look for. And now we're ready to use this bar up here. And so we're going to link this, and we're linking it to something inside the course. So my home page is a page. So I'm going to open up the page, and it's homeroom. So homeroom is the link that it's going to go to. So now when I'm in the edit option, if I hover over this, it's going to say homeroom. So that's how I know that the link is working. And then I can save this. Now, I didn't link any of these, so they're not able to be clicked on, but I did link this. So when I click on this, it should take me back to the homeroom. So you can't link it to something you haven't created yet. So right now I'm thinking in my head, okay, I'm going to link this to day 1 of social studies. And then I just remembered I haven't made day 1 of social studies yet. So I can't link it to a page that I haven't created yet. But let's say that in social studies, they're going to do like an introductory Nearpod on day 1. So let's go in and edit that. So day 1, now I see those 4 dots, so I know it's ready to be linked. I'm going to link it to something in the course. I said it was an assignment, so I'm going to click on assignments. And I did the Nearpod introduction. So let's say that's what I want to do that day. So now when I hover over this, it says Nearpod introduction. So I'm ready to save that. And they can go ahead and click on that and go to the Nearpod assignment, and then go home after that. So that's a little bit about how to do buttons and link them. It's just thinking about the pathway of where things are going and ultimately how you want them to move around through here. I like to use the generic ones that I can use on multiple sites. My contact one is pretty generic. And they always use that home button. I want them to know this is where you're going to come back to no matter where you are throughout the site. So if you have any questions, let me know.